skeptics say they wish God would make himself more apparent to them. They say stuff like, if God really exists, why doesn't he show himself in some dramatic, undeniable way? But we know the Lord doesn't want to do that. Why, you may be asking? Because of your free will. For us to have free will, there must be an amount of divine hiddenness. This is the teaching that for humans to act out of free will, God's existence or presence can't be too obvious. C.S. Lewis says it this way: there must perhaps always be just enough lack of demonstrative certainty to make free choice possible. In other words, if Christianity was clear and obvious, then people would lack the free will to rebel against it. Yes, I believe, like the skeptic, that God could give us more evidence of his existence. But the fact is God gives us enough evidence of his existence so that those who want to believe in him will and can have their beliefs justified. You know, there are times in the Bible where God chose to employ divine hiddenness. Let me give you an example of one. Remember the encounter between Satan and Eve? Satan told Eve that God wasn't acting in her best interest. He said that he was holding back things that would benefit her. But what he was really telling Eve was that God wasn't good. And so while all this was going on and while Eve was being tempted, where was God? Why didn't God intervene while all this was going on? We know he was there because we know he's everywhere. Why did he choose not to make his presence obvious? Well, it's because he let her exercise her free will. Nevertheless, skeptics complain that God still should give everyone just a little more evidence. But when the Pharisees and scribes asked Jesus for more signs, he responded in Matthew 12 and 39 and said these words: an evil and an adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be there 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So Jesus is saying no sign will be given but the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And that was the last sign that he did for them. If skeptics want more evidence, then we simply have to point them to the Christ, to his resurrection. Listen, when folk are confronted with the living Christ and his death and his resurrection from the dead, then the matter of destiny will be determined. You have to make a choice. Our whole society in America knows the story of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. We have Easter every year, and we declare his resurrection. So unless someone doesn't want to believe in the facts of the resurrection, it is the last sign or the evidence that they will ever get. That's it. Bottom line is this: his resurrection is sufficient evidence to justify our beliefs. So I say to the skeptic, if you want more evidence, just look at his resurrection. God bless.